Jaya Radha Madhava Kunya Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunya Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dari Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunya Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunya Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dari Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gauda Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation in purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Only a rare person who has adopted complete, unalloyed devotional service to Krishna can uproot the weeds of sinful actions with no possibility that they will revive. He can do this simply by discharging devotional service, just as the sun can immediately dissipate fog by its rays. So we're continuing the purport. It's from to indicate the purity of bhakti, if you're reading on the phone. To indicate the purity of bhakti, devotional service, Srila Rupa Goswami says in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Anya Belasita Sunyam, Jnana Kamanyana Vitam, Anukulena Krishna Nushilanam Bhakti Uttama. One should render transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord Krishna favorably, and without desire for material profit or gain through fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. That is called pure devotional service. Srila Rupa Goswami further explains that bhakti is kleshagni subhada, which means if one takes to devotional service, all kinds of unnecessary labor and material distress cease entirely, and one achieves all good fortune. Bhakti is so powerful that it is also said to be moksha laguta krit. In other words, it minimizes the importance of liberation. Non-devotees must undergo material hardships because they are prone to commit sinful fruitive activities. The desire to commit sinful actions continues in their hearts due to ignorance. These sinful actions are divided into three categories: pataka, mahapataka, and atipataka, and also into two divisions, prarabdha and aptaprarabdha. Prarabdha refers to sinful reactions, which is one is suffering at the present, and aptaprarabdha refers to sources of potential suffering. When the seeds, bija, of sinful reactions have not yet fructified, the reactions are called aptaprarabdha. These seeds of sinful action are unseen, but they are unlimited, and no one can trace when they are first planted. Because of prarabdha, sinful reactions that have already fructified, one is seen to have taken birth in a lower family or to be suffering from other miseries. When one takes a devotional service, however, all phases of sinful life, including prarabdha, aptaprarabdha, and bija, are vanquished. In Srimad Bhagavatam 11:14-19, Lord Krishna tells Uddhava, Yagatni susamriddachi karoti edamsi basamat tataya visya bhakti Uddhava innamsi Krishnasya. My dear Uddhava, devotional service in relationship to me is like a blazing fire that can burn to ashes all the fuel of sinful activities supplied to it. How devotional service vanquishes the reactions of sinful life is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam 3.33.6. In a verse spoken during Lord Kapila Dev's instructions to his mother Devahuti, Devahuti said, Yanne namadeya shravana nuketana yat pranavat yat smarad dapi kvachit swado pi swadya sadhya savanaya kapate kuta punaste bhagavan nudasanat. My dear Lord, if even a person born in a family of dog eaters hears and repeats the chanting of your glories, offers respects to you and remembers you, he is immediately greater than a Brahmana and is therefore eligible to perform sacrifices. Therefore, what is to be said of one who has seen you directly? In the Padma Purana, there is a statement that persons whose hearts are always attached to devotional service of Lord Vishnu are immediately released from all the reactions to sinful life. These reactions generally exist in 4 phases. Some of them are already produce results immediately, some are in the form of seeds, some are manifested, and some are current. All such reactions are immediately nullified by devotional service. When devotional service is present in one's heart, the desires to perform sinful activities have no place there. Sinful life is due to ignorance, which means forgetfulness of one's constitutional position as an eternal servant of God. But when he is fully Krishna conscious, he realizes that he is God's eternal servant. In this regard, Srila Jiva Goswami comments that bhakti may be divided into 2 divisions. 1. Santata, devotional service that continues incessantly with faith and love. 2. Kadachiki, devotional service that does not continue incessantly but sometimes awaken. Incessantly flowing devotional service, Santata, can also be divided into 2 categories. 1. Service performed with slight attachment. 2. Spontaneous devotional service. Intermittent devotional service, Kadachiki, may be divided into 3 categories. 1. Raga Basamai, devotional service in which one is almost attached. 2. Raga Basa Sunya Surupa Bhuta, devotional service which there is no spontaneous love, but one likes the constitutional position of serving. And 3. Abhasa Rupa, a slight glimpse of devotional service. As for atonement, if one has caught even a slight glimpse of devotional service, all needs to undergo prashchitta, atonement, are superseded. Therefore, atonement is certainly unnecessary when one has achieved spontaneous love, and above that, attachment with love, which are signs of increasing advancement in Kadachiki. Even in the stage of Abhasa Rupa Bhakti, all the reactions of sinful life are rooted and vanquished. Srila Jiva Goswami expresses the opinion that the word Kashneya means that even if one has a desire to commit sinful actions, the roots of that desire are vanquished merely by Abhasa Rupa Bhakti. The example of Bhaskara, the sun, is most appropriate. The Abhasya feature of Bhakti is compared to twilight, and the accumulation of one's sinful activities compared to fog. Since fog does not spread throughout the sky, the sun need not do more than merely manifest its first rays, and the fog immediately disappears. Similarly, if one has even a slight relationship with devotional service, all the fog of his sinful life is immediately vanquished. Om Gyantimidandasya Gyanarashalakaya Chakshulitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupagadam Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha kalpatarubhishcha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So devotional service is so powerful that even a glimpse of devotional service can uproot all sinful reactions. This is great news for us. Because even if we're not fully absorbed in devotional service and doing it incessantly, still all sins are taken care of, which we're very worried about. We're always calculating our actions and reactions, how good karma and bad karma. How much good have I done today? How much bad have I done today? And then how can I counteract what's been waiting, the bad reactions waiting for me? But unfortunately, those born in Kali Yuga have pretty much a mountain or unlimited sinful reactions waiting for us. We have nothing to be proud of being born in Kali Yuga. But by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishna Chaitanya Namago to say Namaha, that is not just giving devotional service, but the goal of devotional service freely, prema. The goal of devotional service is to have love of Krishna. This is what every living entity is searching for. Pure love. Love that's beyond time, space, and thought. Otherwise, we're always frustrated due to the perversion of love, lust. Kama esha, krodha esha, rajaguna samudbhava, mahashana mahapadma, vina idam varinam. That it's the all-devouring sinful enemy of this world. Lust is Amendriya Pritivanchitare Badekam. That trying to satisfy the pushings of the senses. But love, what we're really searching for, is Krishendriya Priti Dare Premanam. That is to try and satisfy Krishna's senses. This is the greatest happiness for us. Otherwise, why would we get up so early in the morning? If there wasn't some happiness from that, if we didn't feel something in our hearts. So this is the benediction of devotional service. Somehow our love for Krishna is awakening. So I felt very great inspiration from the Bhagavad Dharma Prabhu yesterday when he said that it's not possible to do pure devotional service unless you're pure. But even if you're not pure, you can practice devotional service. So I like this word practice because it means you can make mistakes. You may not be there, but you can keep trying and still get something out of it. So this is the encouragement coming from this particular part of the Bhagavatam, because soon we're going to talk about Ajamil. But why did this come up? Because the previous chapter, the end of the 5th canto, we heard about hell. And it seemed very easy to go to hell, actually. In Kali Yuga, it's normal to engage in sinful activity, especially the 4 pillars of sinful life: meat eating, intoxication, gambling, and illicit sex. That seems to be normal. We were just on Harinam in Sunny Beach, and it's on display for sinful activities. Gambling, so many casinos are there. Sinful activities like illicit sex, it's encouraging to the fullest. And intoxication, it's all just bars and people watching football. And meat eating. Every restaurant is serving meat. But why are we there? There's no semblance of devotional service to appear there. Just trying to forget Krishna. So the devotees are there to to give fortune to those conditioned souls who have forgotten Krishna. Namno hi yavati shakti papani harine hare tavakatam nishoknoti patakam patiki naraha. Just by chanting one name of Krishna, you can purify more sins than you can commit in a lifetime. Just one, Krishna. So how many people were there even making fun of us? Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna. They get purified. This is namabas. This is chanting without offense. Just like Ajamil did, calling for his son when the Yamadutas came. Narayan. Because he chanted without offense. He wasn't chanting in the mood, let me counteract my sinful reactions. He's just calling out with feeling. But the Lord took it as he's calling for me. He's known as Janadam Bhavagri. He takes the feeling of the devotee. Even Uddhava was amazed by this when Putana was delivered. Putana was there to kill Krishna and did it by devious means in disguise and everything. And Krishna purified her by sucking her life air. But, he accepted the feeling of the mother, like, oh, please come here, my child, and even gave not just poison, but her breast milk. So Krishna only saw the good, and she became a nurse in the spiritual world. So this is amazing. Imagine like Putana, what type of person she was. Her fun was sucking the blood of babies. So imagine new Mataji comes, I want to join, and then we find out what she used to do. Yeah, I used to kill children and suck their blood. Would we let her in? Would we? I don't know. How would we treat this person? But no, Krishna, he only took the good. Oh, she's doing some service. We'll come back to her later because it's Vamanadev's appearance. We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about the glories of devotional service further on. So, devotional service, it gets rid of all suffering right away. I don't know if you ever felt like that when you first came to Krishna consciousness. Maybe it was the prasadam. Maybe it was the kirtan. Maybe it was just the devotees. Some people even get so attracted to the deity worship done in ISKCON. But it just wakes up something within. Whatever suffering you had in your heart just went away. For me, it was the kirtan. I just came out of a breakup with my girlfriend and I was brokenhearted. And I was thinking, there's no way to fix this broken heart. Maybe it takes some time, 2 or 3 years, And then when I first heard kirtan, then straight away all the unhappiness disappeared. I couldn't believe it. It was very powerful. And you'll find people, we don't know what's happening in their hearts when Harinam comes through. What is happening within their hearts, what is happening on the subtle level. Some people just watch, but they don't interact. But maybe something's going on in the heart. So this is when devotees come together, chanting in public, giving books, giving prasadam, it's a great benediction for them. They give up all this unhappiness. And we don't charge anything. Usually there's all these different life coaches or, therapists, psychologists, different types of professions that say, yes, we'll give up, we can get rid of your stress. They write books even. But all just to make money off them. So they can also have sense gratification. But devotees are not like that. Devotees, they just derive happiness from their other people's happiness. Devotees are known as para dukkha dukhi, that they feel the suffering of other people's suffering. And they feel the happiness of other people's real happiness. But the materialists are opposite. When someone else is happy and doing well, they're very envious. Why is he, so good? Maybe he did some trick, we try and play down his greatness or their happiness, But devotees are not envious. They do not hold a grudge. Oh, why did they have more, not me? They're not so envious. But actually they feel compassion, just like Srila Prabhupada did. Sometimes devotees, they like to point out the faults of the materialists. One time Prabhupada was driving in the car with devotees, and the disciples were looking at the people in the public. Look at them, all suffering, working hard, doing sinful activity. Like that, look at them. But then they looked into the back seat where Prabhupada was sitting, and then he had this tear in his eye, and he goes, oh, they're suffering so much. He actually felt the pain that they're going through, or what's waiting for them. So there's all different types of sinful reactions. The ones that you're experiencing now from this body. This body is actually the reactions. All the pains, everything, that's what we're experiencing from our past actions. And there's some more to come. If you do like palm reading, or you check your chart, you'll see maybe there's some sickness coming, or you'll lose so much money, or something like that. Like someone show me some palms, you can look at your palm. So this line here, this is your lifeline. And the one that goes across your hand, that's the intelligence line. So usually they start off together because you with your parents. So your life and intelligence is pretty much one. But then when you leave your parents, they split. So that's an indicator. I was wondering, no, this is not true. But then I asked somebody, and I looked at his hand, and it was separate. And I go, you didn't grow up with your parents? He goes, no, I grew up in orphanage. So he didn't have his parents, and they were separate. So he had to think for himself. So then you got lines that go like up towards the lifeline. They're like your supporters. So you may get money, or people help you, or this and that. And then when you got lines that go across into the lifeline, like this way, that's like your enemies. So I saw one devotee, he had one like strong line inside the lifeline, like this, across. And I go, what happened here? Like, I mean, it's at that time of his life, he had tuberculosis, like third stage. So you can nearly die from this, actually. So he had to do a lot of like treatments and injections and all these things. Now he's okay, but but it was like strong line there. So it's all written down. It's all predestined. What reactions will come for your body. And then there's another one called bija, which means seed. So things that haven't fructified, and they're just like sitting as in the subtle body. And it's said here that there are unlimited seeds of reactions. So it's a very, very dangerous situation we're in. But just by this slight glimpse of devotional service, all burnt up away, forest fire, just burns it all, completely. Nectar devotion expresses just like snakes in the forest. When there's a forest fire, they cannot get away. So everything's burnt out completely. So this is the encouragement given to us in the Bhagavatam, this part of the Bhagavatam. Because Parikshit Maharaj is feeling compassion for all the conditioned souls. Why do they have to go to hell? How do they get out of hell? What is needed? Shukadev Goswami says they need to atone. They need to do some ritual, some ceremony to counteract. But Parikshit Maharaj goes, this is nonsense. This doesn't work because this desire for sin is still there. How to get rid of that? How to get rid of the seeds? So then we talk about devotional service. And then we talk about the Ajamil, which means he just did all this sinful activity and chanted the holy name just once. So the greatest benediction in Kali Yuga now is the Harinam Sankirtan movement. It's the prime benediction for humanity. It is Anandam Buddhivadanam. It's an ever-increasing ocean of bliss. People get inundated from it. It's too powerful. It's flooding everyone. How did Krishna consciousness get to this corner of the world? Would we ever think this would happen? Some people think, well, Krishna consciousness doesn't exist in Bulgaria. Some people think, like, they don't come here, so how would they know? Like this. It's not, what to speak of places like China where it's illegal, but it's all underground. And then every year in Mayapur, so many Chinese